The movie starts with the hero, Michael Jennings, buying a three-dimensional advanced show called Life. Taking after that, he will be facilitated for 2 months by attorney Rita Dunn, who has been his research facility since its initiation. When Michael is alone, he dismantles the A-Life screen and looks at its equipment and programming. He presents his adaptation of the A-Life innovation, which not needs a screen. The intuitively 3D image inspires the financial specialists, who demand that it be discharged quickly. They eradicate Michael's memory of the past 2 months. After consoling that his memory of his work is eradicated, Rita reminds him that he was never legally affiliated with Nexum, which his creation is presently Nexum's mental property. He doesn't care and just demands his pay. Shorty helps Michael in preparing his reflexes to ensure his brain's recuperation. Before long, Michael visits an occasion facilitated by his ancient college flatmate and tunes into all of ComCO James' discourses. He experiences Dr. Rachel Watchman, a scientist who works for James. After a brief discussion, Michael strongly welcomes her to a private area, but Rachel chuckles and instrument him to discover her once more. At that point, James finds Michael and offers him a position with a compensation sure of at slightest 8 figures. In any case, the work will require 3 a long time to total. Michael is reluctant to disregard these years, but James guarantees him that it'll be in speculation for the rest of his life. He makes his way around campus. He experiences John Wolfe, James's right-hand man, who advises him that he will not be permitted to take off campus for the another 3 a long time. In James' office, John checks Michael's brain with a marker. Michael wavers but concurs, in spite of his need of encounter with the strategy. James appears him the nursery. A robot hands him a bloom, and he takes note Rachel grasping the controls. He apologizes for his activities at the occasion, but James cuts him off. He takes Michael to a secure zone of campus, where he experiences specialist William Decker. Michael wakes up 3 a long time afterward with no memory of what happened. James cheerfully educates him that the assignment is total. Michael comes domestic, and employments his computer to check his bank account. He snickers as he sees more than $90 million in his account, and returns to recover the things he gave to the bank teller. Jane gives him an envelope, but the substance are new to him. Still, he expels it, since he is more curious about benefiting from his company's stock. Jane, on the other hand, unveils that he relinquished his offers 4 weeks back. He is unyielding that he would never do such a thing at domestic. He closes the entryway, and calls James, who isn't accessible. His entryway out of the blue opens. When Michael listens to development within the kitchen, he rushes interior to induce a bat and strike the interloper. He tries to escape, but another fellow pins him to the divider. More men are dispatched to capture him. Afterward, FBI specialists Avoid and Klein address him, blaming him of turnaround building mystery innovation. It turns out that William Decker may be a government physicist, whose extent was racked 3 a long time back. They think James acquired Decker's plan, but Decker was as of late killed, and they are incapable to demonstrate James' involvement. Nonetheless, they find Michael's signature on obvious applications, plans indistinguishable to Decker's. This illustrates that he reproduced Decker's mystery venture. The examiners attempt to enter his brain, to review his recollections. They endeavor to get to his memory, but are incapable to find anything valuable. Eve tries to smoke, but the smoke cautions are actuated, flooding the room with dry chemicals. Michael takes advantage of the opportunity to escape, but collapses on the table, where his affirmed belongings are. He takes shades and puts them on, empowering him to see clearly through the mist, and takes the question and sneaks out the entryway, thinking that it may be valuable. Exterior the Central Command, John is taken aback to find that Michael has fled. The officers seek after him into a transport terminal. Somebody runs into Michael, causing him to lose the envelope containing a transport ticket. He rapidly uses the ticket to enter the terminal, and after that loses the operators. On a transport, Michael opens the package, and finds a focal point, an Allcom swipe card, and a ring. When a youthful man takes note the ring and takes it, Michael chases him out of the transport, but comes to an end when he takes note that he has returned to his bank. He enters, and inquires Jane who sent him the bundle. She appears him the report, and suggests that he send it. In the interim, James emphasizes that Michael was supposed to kick the bucket prior, taking off the FBI with no unused clues within the case of Alan Kong. But for Michael's passing, everything else happened as arranged. When James analyzes the machine that Michael built, it experiences an blunder. When he realizes Michael subverted them, he orders John to find him. In a motel, Michael looks at the substance of the bundle, finding a fortune cookie message with a bank code, a hairspray, an Allen torque, a paper clip, keys, a coin, ball orientation, and a matchbook from a bank that doesn't exist. Among the things in a single bullet, he moreover looks at the crossword astound. Afterward, he goes to meet Shorty at a repair station. A stuffed toy feathered creature sparkles a memory with Rachel. On his uniform, he too takes note of Upkeep Group, from a trade called Edison. Michael goes through its substance, and finds a key on the Edison keyring. Before long, Shorty arrives. Michael clarifies the story, and appears Shorty the things, but he is unaware of them. Michael tells that the operators claimed he worked with Decker, who Shorty knows as somebody who, as far as anyone knows, worked on a government laser. Michael sees the lottery numbers shown on an adjacent TV, realizing that the numbers on the fortune cookie message coordinate. He takes note that the things within the envelope helped him in getting away and returning to the bank. He believes he gave up the money to guarantee he paid consideration to the things, since the machine he developed empowered him to see into the longer term. In the meantime, James finds that the machine's circuitry has been altered with, in spite of his scientist's affirmations that he can repair it. Given this, James contacts John to illuminate him that they now not require Michael. Michael accepts that the machine permitted him to see long haul. When somebody pulls out a gun, Michael takes Shorty absent. He hands Shorty the Edison key, and tells him to escape through the support entryway. Shorty ducks as he escapes, and Michael handles the fellow who is shooting. He endeavors to escape, but the men fire at him. He endeavors to take a man's gun, but is shot by another. He heaves the other fellow against the divider until he's tossed off. He at that point surges ground floor, and slips through another upkeep entrance, but the men seek after him. When he is cornered by two outfitted men, he employs hairspray and a lighter to vanquish them, and takes a weapon. He jolts exterior, but lands on the railroad tracks. One of the men approaches him, but John shoots him, and points a weapon at Michael. The lights on the tracks alter to green, signaling and looming prepare. Michael loads his weapon clip into the tracks, making and blasts, to occupy John's consideration. Michael goes to the circuit board, and employs a paper clip to end the prepare. He at that point runs ahead of the prepare, until the paper clip flashes on the track, causing the prepare to come to an end. The specialist educates lawyer Common Brown at the FBI headquarters that Michael showed up to have arranged his elude. They see out the pictures extricated from Michael's memory, and guess that he expected what would happen. Brown uncovers that Decker worked on a laser-enhanced focal point that may purportedly see into long term. Michael is stirred the following day by flashes of himself being shot. He washes his confront to unwind, sometime recently dribbling water over the bank matchbox, uncovering the covered-up Café Michel symbol. Rachel, in the meantime, nourishes her pet fowls in her condo. When James comes to visit, he unveils that Michael has cleared out everything, and has raised his recollections. Rachel keeps up that Michael guaranteed not to do it, but James claims that they paid Michael a huge hole. Afterward, James and John observe security film from interior Rachel's loft, accepting Michael cleared out her something. They watch Rachel as she starts to require a shower, filling the washroom with steam. She smiles out of the blue, but James doesn't get it why. When she exits the flat, a man takes after her. Whereas John and this fellow assess her flat, he takes after her into the nursery. She returns to a colleague and jumps to the clearing out the man underneath to watch her. She gets her baggage and escapes. In the interim, John mists up the reflect with hairspray, appearing Michael where to meet at the cafe. Michael takes note the Rachel body twofold bait at the cafe. Maya comes, and he sits with her, ignorant that her button contains a camera that transmits the footage to James. Maya demands on being Rachel, but Michael can't affirm, since he doesn't review her. In the interim, John takes note police officers exterior the cafe, and is incapable to fire. As a result, Maya stalls by telling a story almost their relationship. Amid the talk, James notices Michael's envelopes, and accepts that's how he's getting absent. Maya imagines to be mindful of the envelope, and says that Michael is assumed to deliver her something, as James coordinates. Michael looks at the substance, and James instrument Maya to acknowledge the Allcom swipe card. She instrument him to hold up for her, and kisses him farewell, but this brings back his recollections of the genuine Rachel, so he inquires her which baseball club he underpins. The police officers inevitably back off, empowering John to point. Maya pulls out a weapon, knowing her cover has been blown. Rachel abruptly strikes Maya out. When Michael takes note John exterior, he and Rachel duck whereas he fires. Sometime recently they escape into a stopping part. Michael recovers his possessions, and swipes his card from Maya's rucksack. He presses the inaccessible bolt, recollecting the car key in his envelope, as it were to find it's for his cruiser. As John and his men chase them, Michael rides absent. They go against the stream of activity and arrange to capture up with them, but they keep going. They attempt to discourage Michael's course, so he takes a sharp turn. Still, the men are on his tail, so he maneuvers until a truck collides with one of them. Michael arrives at the shipping harbor, and drives into Holder Vans, but he drops the envelope. Rachel dashes off to gather it, clearing out him to bargain with their followers. John fires Rachel, but she rushes to retrieve the envelope. After the vehicle collides with a sewer pipe, Michael swerves his motorcycle before Rachel, causing rock to drop on another vehicle and causing it to collide. He finds Rachel, and they take off right absent, fair as police cars arrive, driving John to halt. Michael goes into a tunnel that is too tiny for cars. However, A police officer continues to chase Rachel until she throws her helmet at him. That night, they both go back to Michael's motel. Michael is not sure if he can trust Rachel, so she gives him a book full of pictures to help him remember who she is. He looks at it closely, but nothing reminds him of her. The next day, Michael sees the stamps on the envelope and remembers that he wrote down 20 items in the bank's records, but only found 19. He looks at the stamps very carefully and sees that one of them is special. They ask to use a microscope from a nearby school to look at secret news stories. The articles reveal all of COM's devices, predicting disasters that will cause a nuclear war. Michael thinks that the forecast will make things even worse, so he chooses to break the machine. They go to the place where the results are located. While standing in line to go through security, they throw small metal balls into the metal detector to make it beep loudly. This makes everyone turn their attention to the detector, which gives them the chance to go through security unnoticed. When James sees them moving, he tells his guards to stop Michael. When the pair get to the machine, they already think it might be a trick. Brown calls the team together to catch either Michael or the machine because an agent tells them where they are. Michael uses a wrench to unlock the door and puts a coin inside the lab. After that, they switch on the equipment and realize that it doesn't work because it's broken. He goes to the room where the server is located and thinks that he secretly placed a bug there. He uses the crossword puzzle to find and get rid of the mistake. James sees that the machine is working, so he sends his people to catch Michael. Michael starts the machine and sees himself getting shot while standing on a bridge. He realizes he has changed what was going to happen to him in the future and thinks he can do it again. When the guards try to open the door, Michael and Rachel go to a room full of computers to plan how they can escape. He takes out the bullet from his envelope and notices the hydrogen tanks that shoot one after another. Before they leave through the vent, he places the bullet on the tank number 6. They are already running away when John and his friends show up. Michael hits 2 guards so he can get a gun. They ran into the greenhouse to escape from the guards who were shooting at them. Michael fights with the men to save Rachel. But then, another guard comes and traps her, so she fights back. He finally beats the guards, but another person aims a gun at him. Rachel gives the gun to Michael, which helps him win against them. When a different guard takes Michael's gun, she gives him a bamboo stick using the robot. He then uses the stick to fight the other guards. In the lab, James sees Michael's death on the runway using a machine. Rachel uses things or actions to get the attention of the guards at the greenhouse, so that Michael can easily defeat them. When James arrives holding a gun, Michael escorts Rachel to a way out. He pulls the trigger on the device after she goes away, which makes him get stuck inside. He tells her that since the person who operates the machine made a mistake, they will have to take responsibility and cover the costs. She doesn't want to leave him, but he tells her to live well to show how much they love each other. He talks to James after Rachel leaves crying. James puts down his gun, challenging someone to change what will happen to him. He stops for a moment, allowing James to hit and strangle him using cables. Michael unhooks the tank and tries to move it far away. After that, he fights hard to gain an advantage. James makes the tank hit him and then attaches the cables to the lift to raise him up. The FBI agents quickly enter the lab, while James takes Michael to the catwalk where he will meet his fate. When Brown finds out that James has taken Michael against his will, he tells his guy to get rid of Michael to prevent James from having him. The door on the raised platform opens exactly as expected by the machine. Michael looks behind him and sees that Rachel is being held by all of the guards. The two meet again, and James remembers how they could have had a happy life together if Michael hadn't ruined their plans. The FBI officers and James have their guns ready. Michael's watch rings and tells him to go away. The couple quickly moves away from the path and as a result, the bullets from the agents hit James. John turns on the machine and sees himself dying just a few moments before the tanks explode. He is unable to escape because there is no time. The FBI agents come to the lab quickly. Brown is very angry because all of the machine's records have been destroyed. The investigators find Michael's watch, which suggests that he is still alive. But when Brown asks about him, the detectives tell a lie and say that he didn't make it. After some time, Michael assists Rachel with her brand new greenhouse. When Shorty comes with Rachel's pet birds, Michael recalls the message on the fortune cookie. He checks under the cage and finds a lottery ticket with the right numbers, winning them $90 million.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please turn on the notifications and click the like button to support the channel. See you in the next video.